Hi everyone, welcome back to our stream. I'm your host Jessie and welcome to another Seascape Moonscape stream. For those who don't know me, I'm Jessie from Seascape. We are here to introduce you to an amazing game called Moonscape, and most importantly today is that we have an amazing guest. After Nikki, after Sharmika, after Erlen, he is one of the OG member from Seascape, and I'm really happy to be able to invite him over to the stream, and it will be very honored to have him over. So before I introduce him, make sure that now we are having a campaign right now for Moonscape, so be sure to go check it out. I'll link the description down below on the chat room, so don't forget to go there and have a look. And hello to all of our 720 viewers, and hello to all of our Binance users. So yes, without further ado, let me welcome our very important guest today, Medet. Hi, Medet.
Hey, nice to see you all.
Yeah, how are you today?
I'm a bit shy because my future wife is watching it, so it's like a presentation, so for her.
I see. So this is your public place for you to like if girls ladies, if you want some future husband, you can send a DM here. Like, is it like that?
No, exact girl. So she's watching it, and I'm like doing like a presentation also for the users, for Seascape fans, as well as for her. So I'm a bit nervous about that.
Oh, really? Wow. What is that girl? Like, who is that girl?
She is from Russia. And
oh my goodness.
I'm trying to meet in this summer, but for now we are separated. So it's one of the ways that we can talk, that we can share what we are doing, and how to say, I can't say like too much of the details because it's like the private things.
Okay. So you want to give her a shout out?
I want her to be proud of me.
Oh, that is so sweet. Oh my goodness. All right.
Yeah.
So is she watching right now?
Yes.
Oh, that is so sweet.
Yes. Okay. We started it, right?
Yes, we are. We are live right now. So yeah, I think she's watching you now. By the way, you look great, so don't worry. All right. So first of all, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
About myself? Of course. So originally I'm from Turkmenistan. It's like a very small country that is in Central Asia, next to Afghanistan, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, but the Turkmenistan is the least known of all stands.
Yes.
And then I moved to China to study at the university, and I was doing like the game. I was passionate about the history. I was passionate about the arts. I had like the art background when I was in the high schools, not the tech guy. And then I also have like the fantasies that I want to describe, that I want to show to the people. And this is how I came to the game industry, because with the games, I can combine these history, I can describe my ideas, like fantasy worlds, as well as the art, and as well as the science, a bit of the science. So while I was doing this gamings, I was doing a bit of entrepreneurship, everything. And once I was doing an internship in the company, I met David, the CEO of Seascape. The Seascape wasn't founded yet, but I got his contact from there. And in 2018, when this crypto boom started, he was looking for the developers. Hey, we at the company where he was working, he convinced his friends to start a new company where they will start to make the blockchain games. So he was looking for the developers. And I said, okay, I'll help with that. And that's how I went to the Seascape.
Oh wow, that's so nice. So that's the story with you and Seascape, I see. So
It's
mhm.
it's it's just we're going to that direction, but it's not that story. But how I was before that, I
Ah,
I don't want to talk about like the more details things because I think it's not that the it's very how to say it will require like a lot of technical descriptions things, and I don't want to get
sure.
bored
To
by that
sure.
your viewers.
I think you're doing wonderful. So you are
Mhm.
like a pro. So you're saying that you like art, like you're sort of like an artist, right?
Yeah.
And also like I also know that you are doing programming. So like you're
Yes.
combining those two things together. Do you
Yes.
draw?
Yes. And I was drawing at the university. I won the contest in the Shanghai, it's like a number one for the it's like
Wow.
a drawing contest among all the foreigners. And I was at the schools. I was invited with the United Nations organizations about my drawings, things from the school. And then, besides that, I'm very, very passionate about these systems. I'm curious about computers. It's always amazed me how these computers are working. Like I'm doing the code and how it's transformed into this like a physical electronics atoms and how they are doing it. Because from the scientific books that I've read, it's not that clear. And so I was doing like my own programming languages. I was trying to make my own operating systems, and
Wow.
and then and then while I was doing the games, it's not that the games. I was also was trying to do something besides the games, like a game tools, because it's really really hard to do. Yes,
I see. So like what kind of art do you like? Do you do digital art or do you like what kind of art media do you like the most?
classical.
Because
It's a classical.
oh
I
really?
Yes, it's a classical compositions, portraits, all of these kind of things, and learning like about the art history, how it started, about the Renaissance, about Western arts, and how influenced with that. Um, I haven't drawn professionally. It's not even professional, like on my free time for like the last 7 years. But
Mm-hmm.
what I can say from this art school is that it's what I had from the art school till today is that I can enjoy the arts. When I see the composition things, I can value it. Okay, this is the masterpiece. This is enjoyable. And just
Mm-hmm.
watching it for like hours and hours, and you understand why it's so much valuable, why this artist is the genius. And I can describe that.
That's great because I remember so a little backstory about me is that I when I was in university I studied
Mhm,
Italian and
mhm,
Italian art. And so I spent my 4 years learning Italian and also learning art history of Italy. So like
mhm.
and I also draw as well. So like I kind of feel like we are very sync where I also love Renaissance and I go to Italy to all those museums to like look at the art myself and then like with my own eyes. So like, I think I can very relate to how you feeling when you see art. So yes,
Mhm.
I think like it's really important that we we both love art and you love computer and I love content creating. So like we both use our brain for art and like our eyes for art and you put something and you put it into your computer and your programming and to make it beautiful and artistic. I think it's
Yeah,
really important.
It's like the art and tech, like computer things, when they're combined, I think it's the computer games as well as
It's very beautiful.
creativity. You're realizing that.
Yes, it's really important. I think for everyone, no matter what jobs you do, you really need to have the eyes for beauty. It
Yeah.
Yes, it's really important. Like I remember when I'm building a computer. So like I
Hmm.
built my own computer. I don't you cannot
Really?
see, but yeah, I built my own
The gaming
computer.
computer.
Yeah, a gaming computer. So like
Wow.
it's really
I kind of want to
important.
that.
Yeah, I will show you after stream. Yeah. Um so like when you're dealing with the wiring, so I
Hmm.
think a lot of people will just like push those wire together and that's it. But like
Hmm.
I can see other people will if you have the eye for beauty, you will like organize these chords and to
Yeah.
make it nice, and then like the stream, how the airflow, how you put your fans, and how you organize your RGBs, or sometimes put a screen on it. I think it's really important for everyone to have the eyes of beauty, that you know what is good and what is, and I think that's what Seascape is. That
Hmm.
we are here to create something beautiful. And so like, so as Nikki said, we are here to create like really good game, but at the same time, what is a good game is also like what beauty is. Like where our art is beautiful, our like later on we're going to talk about Moonscape or Block Lords. I think it's really important for those with eyes of beauty to create
Hmm.
something beautiful, and I think it's really important.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So, do you want to share the story of how you and Seascape is? Like how the story of you and Seascape?
Sure. Let me think about the old ancient times back
The
before the
ancient
advent
days.
of the yeah, yeah, yeah. And so I knew David back in the days when I was since the days when I was an intern,
Mhm.
and I got his contact. And later in 2018, when blockchain became boom, when everyone started talking about it, he with Nikki and his other team members, they were making these block lords, and they were looking for the developers. And I had my own ideas. I was thinking about my own entrepreneurship, everything, my own plans that is not even related to the blockchain. But I was trying to help him. So I found from my contacts like a game developers. So we found all the developers, but there was no blockchain developer. So I said, okay, since I'm trying to help you, and from my contacts, there is no any blockchain developer, I will learn that blockchain myself and I will help you with that. And this is how we started to work on it to make these block lords for the blockchain contest. And it was in the summer of 2018. It's like 4 years ago. And but since then, I was with the block lords, with the Seascape team. It wasn't the Seascape; it was Arctic Scape team.
Oh.
It was making like a block lords things, and
Mhm.
what we were making the block lords was that it's not for the cryptocurrency, it was just for fun. We were not integrating NFTs, all of this stuff until the very, very late time.
Mhm.
And we got like a huge user fan. It's not a huge, but very, very core fans who are following us up until now. And they were pushing, okay, you have to make this cryptocurrency, you have to make these ideas, you have to add that. But so with these block loads, we were porting it every 3 months for various blockchains. And we initially decided, okay, before we are making everything for the block loads, making this cryptocurrency, making it the full game, we have to make another project that helps to do that. And that's how Seascape started.
Mhm.
And I was the first developer that they hired for the block loads. And in 2020, when we start to think about these game tools to help the people to create their blockchain games, and when we started this, I became like a co-founder.
Oh, that's so nice.
It was like a career progress.
Yeah, it's like it does. It does. How do you feel about that?
I'm still quite shocked. Still I don't think about myself like on that position. I still think myself as the employee, trying to be humble and
Hmm.
trying to get a lot of hard tasks that is really hard to solve, and trying to make it for the seascape.
Oh,
And yes,
that is so nice. I love that you're so humble about it, even though like I heard a lot of good things about you, how like you're like doing so many works and you're helping the early Nikki them like winning the competitions, and like you're the first programmer in the and the developer in Seascape. So like I heard so much about you, and like yet you're here trying to be like very modest and humble about it, and just like amazes me. So like I will love to know, what do you usually do when you're in Seascape?
at seascape, what I'm usually doing.
Hmm.
So we are making a lot of projects, and we are
Yes.
always trying like a new technologies. Every time it's a new kind of the crypto. Every time it's like a new kind of the framework. Every time it's like the
Mm.
ideas. So David and Nikki come up with the idea. Okay, we have to make this. It's not on the market yet, so we are trying to do it firstly. And crypto being like a fast spacing industry where everything goes super fast, my duty is to take that new ideas and implement it with the architecture, with the codes as the basement, by coding the most critical parts and delegate it to the rest of the team so they can use that as a template, so they can build everything what they finalize your project based on the code that I'm making. So I'm responsible to implement the ideas and new technologies in the codes by fixing the most critical parts. And then I'm like the mentor, I'm like the teacher in the company who explains everything to the developers so they can use it. So they don't have to have this stress by going into the source code of the codes if they don't understand it. Because in the blockchain, when you have something, it's hard to find it on Google because it's something new. So you
Yeah.
have to invent it by yourself. So that's what I'm doing.
I think it's really like I said, I feel like the way you say it, it sounds so easy, but it's actually not. Like you're literally making dreams come true. You're like a developer of Walt Disney. You are, people are coming you with ideas, but that you implement it and you actually make the like a concept and becomes a reality. And I think that's really, really, really impressive.
It's 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 very hard thing. It's very stressful because you have the time, you have the deadline. Let's say like 3 months, and here is the new technology, and here's a new idea. You have to implement it, but no one else do it. No one else can do it. We cannot. We have no time to find the developer who can do it. So Medet do it and explain it to the rest of the team. And up until 2022, like the last 3 years, I was working without the holidays. Even if the
Wow.
Nikki and David was saying, "Okay, Medet, take a time," I wasn't doing it. And meanwhile, I was traveling around the world. I
Mhm.
was living after China in Georgia. Right now, I'm in Turkey. 2 weeks ago, I was in Russia. Before that, in Vietnam, Laos, Thailand. But in none of those countries, I haven't been in museums or in the touristic attraction places. So I don't have the time.
Mm.
And only recently Seascape became at the level that I start to have these weekends off.
That is really, really like this is commitment, I think.
Mhm.
Yes, but it also shows that you are very passionate about, solving problems and then wanted to make this project successful. And I think
Mhm.
it's really important because, like, if you won't if you it's sort of like if you can't do it, no one else can. It's like you are the person who will make it happen. So I think you are carrying a big responsibility. Like, you carry a really big project on your back, but also like you
Yes.
carry it out. Like, I know that you've said that you're very tired, but also at the same time, like, you are creating something really amazing. I would say that we are here, even like I am here, is because of you, because you make something happen. So like all of the coming to having the game and me streaming here, like everything happened because of you made it happen first. Like you use all those time to like make things happen, and then so I can be here to meet you and to be able to hear the story from you. And for 916 people, including your girl, to like see this happening in front of everyone's eyes. So like
Making me
I
count
really
900 people. Oh my God.
no, you are doing amazing job. Don't worry, you're doing great. You're very charming, and you're
Wait, wait,
saying
wait.
something super important.
I need to take a deep breath. 900 people are watching me.
Yes. You're taking a deep breath. Okay, you're good.
I did. I did. Yes.
You'll get used to it. You need to get used to the fame. You need to take credit.
Um, it's still
Yes.
something new for me. I prefer to be behind the scenes,
Oh,
even not to include my names. And when people are talking about things, even in the company, I don't want to be disclosed. Okay, we're making it together, but who is doing it? I don't want to disclose it.
oh, okay. So,
Mhm.
oh, that's so interesting. But you're doing a tremendous job. So don't worry.
I think that's a reason why Nikki and David appointed me as co-founder, because when they said that, I was quite surprised. I wasn't expecting that, and I'm really thankful.
You
Basically,
but I think the reason why they choose you is because you're really good at what you're doing, and also like they believe in you. So you should pat yourself in the back because you're doing a great job.
oh, they
And
are doing it
yeah.
always.
Yeah, and you should do it too. I think everyone believe in you, and also very important that you believe in yourself too.
Mhm. Oh yeah,
Mm.
thank you for your warm words.
You're welcome. So like I would love to know, since that you're so you come here so early on, and you and Nikki and David are such a good friends. So is there any like funny stories that you can share about the early days of Seascape?
Funny stories. Oh my God.
So many, right?
I can to exactly say like the most funniest story. I couldn't remember it. We had like several stories, but I would say the one that comes to my mind is that so basically we were making the mini games like
Oh
right at the
yes.
beginning,
Hmm.
and then what we were doing is that with these mini games we were making the documentation like a clarification, transparency, so that everyone can
Yeah.
see how these games are built. And you can go to the documentations, you can read about it, and you can actually experiment with it. So I was hoping with the curious people who understands the code, they will try to hack it because I've seen it a lot of times, and I was expecting it will come. And then one day we got a report from our core players. It says, okay, here with this game, the second game, you can bypass the rules by making the high quality NFTs. And the funny thing was that he wasn't the tech guy. He was just a normal, like a non-technical background user, just who understands deeply how games are working. And the funny thing is we gave these games for like a 4 auditing teams, like a 1 freelancer and 3 different companies. We were doing it constantly ourselves with our own departments. Even these tech guys couldn't see that, but it was founded by the user who doesn't have the tech understanding. And it was quite funny for me.
Yeah. But because like he know the game so well, right? So that's why
Yes,
he
and
can
it's
find
quite
it.
shocking, man. Some people knows our games, and they find like a different ways to implement like a strategies that I haven't think about it before. And it's quite enjoyable to see as well.
I know. I think it's really good that I think that's how people can play a game. For example, I don't know if you're a gamer, but that's the question later. But so there's a very famous game called Elden Ring that came out
Oh
these
yeah,
days. Yeah. So
infamous, I would say.
yeah, yes. So like you see, like this game, they develop it for 10 years, but people still in the game can find little tricks. Like for example, you can watch the stone go down the hill, and then you get 2,000 ruins. Like you can get like you add more things. Like you don't need to kill anyone by leveling up. You can just watch the stone goes down the hill constantly. So like people find little things like that, even though the developers like do like building this game for like 10 years, like they couldn't find it. But like little things, I think that's why it's very important for everyone to have different perspective, different view. Like we see different, we see the same thing, but someone see from this side, someone seeing from that side. So it's really important for everyone to see in a different view, and then we come together, and then we can see the whole thing. So it's like, I don't know, in when I was growing up, I know a story called The Blind People Touching the Elephant. So it was like, yeah, so like it's like, okay, the one blind people touch the nose of it, and then the other people touch the legs, the belly, and then together they combine a whole elephant. So I think this is what we're talking, like we have very different people from different backgrounds, from art backgrounds, from media, from marketing, from gaming developing, from tech, and all together we come together with this project, and then we can find different things to discover, and then to say, oh, this is something interesting, this is we can do this, we can do that. So like, I think it's really interesting that we can find things together, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, totally agree. And
yeah,
even if we have like all these QA group, we will never, I would say we have to cover up with the tests like a most all possible ways, but there will be even at least one more possible ways that we didn't cover that will be found out by the users.
Yeah, and I think that's why, so for Moonscape, we have the first early access, and like these days we're going to launch our second early access. And I think it's really important for us to do all these early access before our open beta, is because like we can let other people play the game and then have feedback. People can say, oh, it's like an artist. I was using an example of an artist painting his art. So when an artist creating his own art, sometimes we will go too near, too close to the art. We're focused very much on the details when you're drawing an eyes, when you're doing one shadow, but we are so focused on one thing that we forgot to take a step back and then see all the picture and then say, oh, okay, the eyes is too small. Oh, the shadow is too heavy. So like we will need people besides us to say, okay, the whole scene is good, but the shadow is too dark, the eyes is too little. So like the more people are coming here to like play our game and then to give us more feedback, we will have more knowledge and knowing that what most people would like to have in a game. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I think that's really important.
of course. Of course.
So speaking of game, are you a gamer? And what if you are? What kind of game do you usually play?
I am, how to say, I'm the kind of the person who, when I have the problem that I have to solve, I cannot relax. I'm forgetting about food. I'm forgetting about sleeping, everything until I'm not solving this problem. For example, when I came back from Moscow, I bought a puzzle and we were trying to solve it with our friends on the weekends, like the last weekends. And we sat like until like the very, very late, like straight to like 8 hours until we were not solving it. And with the games, it's the same, especially when it's like at the hardest level, like an Elden Ring. I would probably, I know from my experience when I was like a teenager at the high schools, I would, how to say, there was a days when I played like a 16 hours without because non-stop. Only my body will remind me, okay, Medet, your stomach has some pain. Go to the kitchen to have some food. And because of that, I stopped to play the games because I can't control myself unless I'm not completing the game. And instead of that, what I'm doing is I'm usually watching the Twitch or watching the YouTube about the new games, about the gameplays, let's plays like, for example, this one, about the new upcoming games. And that's it.
That's great. So I totally agree. I totally understand. So I'm also the type of person where when I'm focusing on something, I need to do it until I finish it or I'm good at it. So I completely understand that feeling that you need to finish it or else you don't want to do any other thing. So yes. So
Ah,
you're saying that you watch YouTube and Twitch. Is there
mhm.
any like special YouTuber or streamer that you
Most
like to watch?
most commonly, I'm watching the Dota 2 Championship because
Oh,
I was avid player of Dota in the past, and still I'm watching it every time they are adding new things into that, or they're adding new heroes. I'm watching how people are reacting, how people are using it in the new strategy things, and I have like I'm a fan of the Russian player, like a Dota professional player,
mm.
and I'm watching a lot of things, but I would say most frequently or often I'm coming back to the Dota.
Oh wow. So you're a Dota fan.
I was.
You what? Okay, okay, yeah. Now you're very focused on your project.
Yes, I'm most often watching how this Seascape and its partners games are, and how these are all other blockchain games are made. And most importantly, I'm also watching the, how to say, modification that people are making for that. And I'm
Mm.
also sitting in quite a lot on the itch.io where people are showing their own free-to-play games or like from the game jams when they have like a new ideas and they are trying to implement it, and it's super fun because they have like a super unusual games there. Like the last time when I was attending to the game jam, the the motto of the theme of that game jam was, the more you have, the worse it is. And it's quite funny when you're seeing like how people are thinking about like a new game, which has this theme. And one thing that I remembered was one guy created the game within the 3 days with that theme, and it was the more dates you have, the worse it is. And you're playing like a guy who is dating like a one girl at the same time he's trying to date like a five girls, and how it's getting worse and worse. And it was super fun to see. And
Yes.
and you just remember it, and it teaches you about like gameplays, how you can do it in like new games. Yeah, so I would say HIO as well.
Yeah.
Watching the streams of HIO or trying like new games there.
I see. That's really interesting to know. Like even though you don't play games right now, but you also like still keep yourself updated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like
Mm-hmm.
I think we all have all kinds of hobbies that we want to know to do, but unfortunately, we don't have all the time in the world, and like we're working and we're focusing on other important things. So it's really good that you still keep yourself updated to the latest game, and it's really important to have something you enjoy too. It's like you will have your work and you'll have something that you enjoy as well. And I think it's really important that you also like keep the things that you like, that you can keep going back to watch YouTube, and you can watch stream to see what are other people's reaction to the thing you like. So I think this is a really important. So it's really good. And I would like to know, before the Lighthouse IDO, Seascape created several mini games, and as you mentioned, like a lot of things are very technical, and blockchain isn't something that everyone can understand. So like, could you briefly explain the logic that connects with them, the mini games?
Sure. So it is, I would say, it's like a DeFi. It's like a decentralized financial things that involves the cryptocurrencies. But in the mini games, they are like a gamified. So it's fun to do it on the mini games, but it's the same as in the rest of the space. And so we have like 5 mini games, and these mini games were like a proof of concept of the idea that Seascape had, that when you have the NFT, it is not just the character, it is not just the photo with a cute name, but it can be also something valuable that can bring you some earnings. Plus, NFT that was issued in the one platform or in the one game can be used in other games. So, for example, we are creating the NFTs in the one mini game, but with the another mini games, you can earn money, or you can mutate, or you can burn and mint another NFT based on NFTs that you created on previous games. And plus, we were also implementing these DeFi mechanisms. For example, staking the tokens or LP tokens that keeps the price of the project. And slowly with the new game, we were, for example, in the zombie farm game, we had like a 16 smart contracts, because it was like the challenges, it was like the levels, and that it was a proof of concept that you can use it in any other games. So even, for example, on the Moonscape, we have that DeFi integrated. So you have like a free to play, but also in the various cities, you have different kind of the DeFi tasks that you can do and earn money with that. But that's based on the DeFi mini games that we already had. And that's the primary idea. If I'm not going into like deep details, if you want that,
Sure.
it's even more about each of the
Yeah.
games they do.
Yeah, I think that's really cool that each all the mini games are all connected. Like it's like a
Yes,
very good, yeah.
yes,
Like
and
yeah.
yes, and one more thing. So when we are making these, so why these in Seascape we are making something different from the rest of the teams is that so we have like a new ideas and we have the new technologies and we have this short period of the time. It is hard to do it within the short period of time. It's even more harder to make your things in a way that you can reuse it in the upcoming games. So when we were making these DeFi games, we set the architecture in a way that it can be used in any other games with by any other game developers that they want. They can learn from it. And that's the motto of the Seascape, that we're helping for the game developers.
I think it's really important that you, Nikki, and David, you created this mini game of proof of concept
Hmm.
and you present it to everyone. And then, for example, afterwards, the Moonscape
Hmm.
or these recent block lords and all the project that will come along afterwards, all the ideal project later on, can look at the mini games and then see all the concept, and then they can like you're willing to
Yeah.
let them adapt all these
Yes.
functions
Yes.
and implement into their games
Yes.
that will give, well, first will give the player a fresh look of a new game but with the
Yes.
same function, and B is that you let the developer be able to use their creativity to create something cool but also
Yeah.
useful. So I think
Yeah.
it's really important. It's really cool that Seascape is doing that. We're not only encouraging people to play our game, and we're also encouraging people to make games
Yeah.
that make good games together. So I think that's a really good concept.
Yeah. I would say that, yeah, in the upcoming games, we would have, so let's say the DeFi mini games are like the base. And along with that, we made like a reusable code. And so we are working on the multiple games right now. And we have like a partners that are working with us to make these blockchain games, just like this Moonscape. And also we have Block Lords and some other games that unfortunately I cannot tell because of the
Yeah.
config, confid.
Confidential.
Yes, yes, I forgot that spelling. And but we have with that, with the DeFi mini games, the smart contracts with technologies that we use, it's like a reusable. It's like a plug and play that we can integrate it for the upcoming games. And we're still polishing these things so it will save the time for the game developers when they are making their games.
That's really cool and interesting. So, when it comes to DeFi games or blockchain related, safety is always the main thing that people are focusing
Mhm.
on. So, what are some of the safety measures that players can intact to protect themselves out there?
In the games,
Yeah. So, like for example, like being a crypto game, like how can they protect themselves? What kind of safety measures that they can have? Like when playing a crypto related game.
first, I would say play the game that you like to play. Just
Hmm.
again from our experience about the funny story that a player found the strategy where he he was good and way more than we could find, like our imagination. And to do that kind of things, player has to learn. Player has to love the game itself.
Hmm.
And when you have like the game that you're liking, start with the small game, small money, not invest a lot of things until you are not mastering the game. And only after that, when you have like a clear idea about your strategy, how you will play it, what are the weaknesses and what are the hard parts of the game, then you can invest more of your time and you can invest more of your funds into that because you know that you have like a high chance to get something from it.
Yeah, that's really important, I think, especially as you are sort of like a crypto native now that you know how blockchain works. So I think your advice is really important for all of those people who are experiencing right now the market is down and right now everyone is a little hesitant with crypto. I think your measure and your methods are really important. That you pick a game that you like first, and then you becoming really good at the game,
Mhm.
and slowly you don't want to dump a bunch of money into it first before you really understand how the game works, and then
Yeah,
only when you understand how the game works, and then it's just like a normal game.
yeah,
You
yeah.
won't
Same,
Yeah. Mm-hmm, exactly.
same.
It's just like a normal game. I think what we're trying to do with DeFi game is that you need to treat it like a normal game as well. That
Yeah.
the logic behind normal game is that you go and you like the game first. You don't want to go there with a different purpose. So
Mhm.
you come there with a purpose of wanting to know the game and liking the game and then master the game. And
Mhm.
only after you're really good at the game that you're playing, then you can start investing things and then to earn rewards from it. So I think that's a really good strategy and also a really good concept of how people should view all these DeFi game, because I think
Yeah.
everyone want to put a bad name tag on DeFi, on crypto, on blockchain, because people don't know. What we're trying to do right now is give people options, because
Mhm.
it's a free world. We wanted to not force people to believe in NFT, to believe in crypto, to believe in token, but an option that when you're playing a traditional game, you can play and you achieve achievements and you earn items, but you can also, when you're earning items, you can also earning NFTs, you can also earning tokens. It's a choice. It's like how Moonscape, you can play as a normal game, but you can also play as a DeFi game. You When it's becoming an open beta, you don't even need to connect the wallet through the game. You can play it as a normal game. And when you are ready and when you want to make the decision of making it as a DeFi game, then you can join the DeFi function. I think that's a really important concept for people to know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. It applies
exactly.
in everywhere,
Mm-hmm.
especially in the crypto, but also in the traditional game. When you're mastering the game, you will start to have your own strategy. Like let's say in the RPG game, when you are playing, when you're exploring it, you will start to find your own favorite customs, your own favorite way of traveling within the map, your own favorite spellings. Even when we have like a 20 spellings, you will mostly use like a 3 or 4. And the same goes with these crypto space. When you are mastering, you will start to have your own strategy and you have like arguments why this strategy works. And since it's being the game, there is no 100 chance that you are winning. There is like a more high chances than on average. And when you're applying it to the crypto, it gives you decisive fun, also solid earnings as well.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Mhm.
so what do you think? How does Seascape deal with those safety issues with like crypto space? Like, yeah.
How we are doing?
Mm-hmm. Like, how
Okay.
do we? Yeah.
Uh,
Like as you said, that you said before, how like don't be too quick with crypto, and you mean like for everything, right? So it doesn't matter if it's a traditional game or if it's a DeFi game. Like, you just don't try to be greedy and don't try to like go too quickly to into a game. So yeah.
how we are doing it, the safety measures.
So like safety. Do you think safety is an issue in like the crypto space?
Of course, of
Yeah,
course.
yeah. So like,
So,
how do Seascape like deal with these issues?
okay, the reason why I was delaying this answer is because there's like a multiple perspective,
Hmm.
technical or from marketing perspective or from like a financial perspective. But I would say in this way that's yeah, when you're coming to the crypto, don't come with the speculation, don't come with the when Lambo, don't try to be quickly rich, because when you have that kind of ideas, when you have like in mind to be rich, when you're investing in any coin and hoping that it will pump in 1,000 times or 100 times within the short period of time, or even when you're expecting it, there will be better person at that who can trick you,
Hmm.
who can bait you for their own scams, who can bait you for their own rug pulls. And what we are doing on Seascape is that when we have these ideas, we're trying to stick with our words. So when we have this project and when we have the plans, okay, we are making this project, and only after that we announce, okay, we've made it. And secondly, whenever we are doing anything that is blockchain related, we're trying to be honest and transparent. So we are releasing the documentations. We're not just making these open source like the rest of the team, but we are also writing like a really, really good documentation so people can understand the code. Um, at least we're working on that, and I agree that there is a lot of things that we have to do to improve it. And just an example, even non-technical people can read the documentation and understand the games, like a technical side, how to do it. Um, and with that way, we are giving to the users transparency so they can check it themselves.
That's really important. Yeah. So I think that's really important that we are really focusing on the safety issues. And yeah, so let's look at the bright side of it. Like, let's see, like, what is something that you're excited about in the future? Like, could be related to Seascape or any crypto world in general. Like, what is your thoughts for the future?
So on the top, you have these speculations with the crypto, and that's most of the people see, unfortunately, and especially people who are not from the crypto. They see these NFTs, they see that there is like some rug pulls or scams. Behind the scenes, what you have is so this blockchain technology is driving these very complex cryptographic technology ideas from the theoretical space to the practical space. They're also driving these very complex distributed systems, networking ideas into the practice, because that's cryptography and the distributed systems are the core of blockchain, and people are trying to implement that. And let's say, for example, zero knowledge proof or multi-party computation or peer-to-peer systems where you don't have these any central authority, like a zero knowledge proof. Let's say this is like an idea that says you have your own data, you can prove that data is correct, but without revealing it. You can prove that your age is below than 30, but you are not saying what is your age exactly. And this is in crypto, it is really hard to do, and only recently start to get active because of the crypto. They're trying to do it. So I'm expecting that within the next 2 decades, we will see some revolution here. And this technology that is initiated by the blockchain will be so impactful that it will influence the traditional technology like a IT space is outside of the blockchain as well. maybe within this century it will impact the governments. They will start to apply these into their laws, and I'm quite happy to integrate that into our games.
I think that would be a really good. I think that would be a really good thing and something that we can look forward to, especially like nowadays. And like I totally agree that there will be a revolution in the near future for crypto as well. So I think we don't need to be too down about right now the situation right now, but looking forward to it, because just like I feel like I'm from a financial background too. So I used to be a traditional financial background. So I used to deal with bonds and stock markets. So I think it's really important for people to understand that market is fluctuate. It goes up and down. So I think it's because crypto is such a new thing and is such a new concept. So when it's down, people think it's gonna be down always, but they forgot that stock market is always like that too, and foreign currencies like that as well. Like all the markets related to finance is always fluctuates. So I think for all of the people that are feeling down about the situation right now, don't forget that we are in this is a financial field. No matter, even though it's a crypto, it's also a field that is related to finance. So it will fluctuate, and I believe that it will go back as well soon. So I think it's really important to give a boost in everyone's heart and everyone's mind. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's really
yeah,
important. So it's I'm so glad to have you over. Since
yeah.
we're running out of time, so I will just gonna ask you one last question before I
Mhm.
let you go.
Sure.
So what do you think about the developments like out there who should learn from Moonscape? Like, what are some direction you think Seascape can move in?
If you have any ideas about the development things, we're always happy to help you. That's our purpose of this. That's the purpose of the company. And besides the Moonscape, I would encourage you to check these DeFi mini games and check what they're doing. And on the documentation, we have the really good guidelines that was written by Chonika. And then see this Moonscape, how it's integrated it into the inside the game. That's part of the game. And when you have your own ideas about it, when you have your own ideas about games, just reach out, and we're always happy to help.
That's a really good shout out. Thank you so much. And
Mhm.
yeah, I think this is all Seascape is about, right? We're here to help people, help our players, and help our game
Of
developers.
course. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining this meeting with you, with us, and with everyone.
Yes, me too. It was a pleasure for me as well.
Oh, thank you so much, and thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Okay,
Okay. See you soon.
see ya. So that is Medet, everyone. How do you feel? Thank you so much for coming here to join us. Thank you, the 1.2K viewers. As you see, that if you want, you can follow all of our handles to have the latest news. Don't forget to join our. Right now, we are having the Moonscape campaign going on, so don't forget to go join it. And if you have any questions for Medet or for me, for anyone want feedback, you can always come here to tell us about it, or you can write us through our Twitter, Telegram, YouTube, anywhere. We'll all welcome for all kinds of comments. And thank you so much for joining. Next stream will be on again on Friday. So if you're looking forward to it, you can always come back. So I'll see you guys next time. All right. See ya.